Matthew, did you see the news?
What news?
Well, I mean, the Giants, the coaching staff, it's starting to come together. They hired their hitting coach.
Oh, yes, they did. Isn't that cool?
It's so cool. They hired Hunter Pence as the hitting coach.
Mense.
That's what I said, Hunter Pence.
Mense.
I mean, I can't wait to see him. He's going to be riding his scooter to the ballpark, and all the fans are going to be, hey, look, it's Hunter Pence.
Mense.
On his way to the ballpark, and they'll be like, hi, Hunter Pence.
Mense.
I think this is a great change for the team, right? Some energy in the dugout, right? Like, remember how he was always the cheerleader, and you would get them all together,
Yeah.
You would just see on his back, it would just be like, it would just Pence, and he'd have his fingers up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be great. It's going to bring some energy, you know? He's going to show the guys how to hit the ball twice with the bat. Like, this is some crazy good stuff. These are great ideas. But you know what else Hunter Pence
Mense
brings to the table, Matthew?
What's that?
Is that he can show the guys how to appeal to a wider fan base. You know, how so that the fans from the other teams like the Giants so much that they'll start holding up signs that are like insults but not really insults, you know? I can just see it now. One sign will say, Drew colors outside the lines.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Or how about this one? Raphael is a pretty decent third baseman, actually.
Actually?
That one will be in Boston, obviously. That'll be in Boston. And then I thought this one was good. This was clever. I think this was clever. Matt Chapman doesn't need chapstick.
Okay, that's great. I'm just not following you why we're talking about this.
Well, it's because they hired Hunter Pence as the hitting coach. Why do you keep doing that?
It's not Hunter Pence. It's Hunter Mense.
What are you talking about? What? That's what you're just saying the same word I'm saying, but with an M.
Exactly. It's Hunter Mense, not Hunter Pence.
Did he change his name or something?
No.
Wait. No, I gotta go look this up.
Okay, you look this up.
Hold on. I'll just wait for a moment.
All right.
Okay. Got a minute. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Bob, hit it.
Welcome to Giant Cocktails, where the baseball is mid, but the cocktails are elite. Here are your hosts, Ben and Matthew Henry.
Welcome to episode 338 of Giant Cocktails. Matthew, did you know that the greatest color guy of any broadcast team ever, Mike Krukow, had a 3.38 ERA in 1985 when he went 8-11?
It was with the 85 Giants, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a year before you got to like these kids. So they were not good. Yeah, the next year, Matthew, he won 20 games for the only time in his career.
That's right.
I like how you took the 338 there and then put it up against a number from an entirely different year.
I just didn't want to be like, oh, when he went 8-11. I wanted there to be like a, hey, but next year he won 20 games.
Well, because next year the team was better.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's the funny thing about wins. You know, the ERA is legit. No, it's a legit stat.
Just ask Justin Verlander, right? I mean, wins come and they come, wins go.
That's right. It's not all about wins. Even though he's going to keep chasing them. Just probably not.
Well,
Giants.
It's his prerogative till someone stops paying him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And we don't know that that's even this year yet.
We don't.
Although I'd take him at this point.
Enough with the banter. Let's talk cocktails.
Let's do it, Bob. Let's talk cocktails.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Well, thank you for asking, Bob. That's very kind of you, Bob. Sometimes Sunday afternoon gets away from me, and so today I'm drinking a cocktail called Off-Season Sludge. And I will tell you what's in an Off-Season Sludge and why that's the cocktail I'm drinking today at the end of the episode.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Well, Bob, unlike my brother, I actually put a little effort into today's cocktail. I am drinking something called Manzana Reposada, and I'll tell you all about it at the end of the episode.
You know, I could just call mine like Off-Season Sludge in Spanish, and then that would just, oh, it sounds so fancy. Like, no, that's not putting in the effort, dude. That's not putting in the effort.
We'll talk about it at the end of the episode, who put in the effort and who didn't.
Oh, I was putting in the effort. Okay? I was putting in the effort, and I'll tell you all about it, but unfortunately, it's going to come with a trigger warning, people. Some of you are going to have to turn off the episode so you don't have to hear me describe what I was doing instead of making my fancy cocktail with the Spanish name. Anyway, today is Sunday, November 16th, as we record this podcast. Your San Francisco Giants didn't play because the baseball season is over and nobody played. But lots of stuff happened. Man, lots of stuff happened. Matthew, we had the pre-winter meetings.
That's right. Yes. The get ready for the real exciting meetings.
That's right. The not as exciting as the next meetings, where it was just the GMs and was it just the GMs?
That's what they say, but
It's the
Vitello
general
was
managers
there,
meeting.
Buster was there. I think they'll let a few more people than just the GMs.
Yeah, well, I mean, because like, here's the thing though, like, what is a GM these days, right? Back in the old days, the GM was the hobo, and the hobo was the GM, and there were no hobos.
Right.
But then we had title inflation.
That's right.
Right.
Maybe they should call it the Hobogum meetings.
The Hobogum meetings.
Yes.
Yeah, and host them in Hobogum, Iowa.
Yes. I thought that was in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it does sound like it would be a Wisconsin, actually. Yeah. Maybe in North Dakota. Hobogum,
Maybe.
North Dakota.
Yeah, there you go. Let's say that.
Yeah. But also, so those meetings happened, and a lot of other things have been happening, right? The Giants continue to build their roster, and they continue to build their coaching staff and filling out some positions in the front office. We're going to talk about all of those things, but Matthew, you did put a little bit of a countdown here that I think I should probably call out.
Please do, because we all need something to focus on, Ben. We need a prize to eye.
This doesn't feel good to me. Like, I don't like these numbers. These numbers are very big. Anyway, it's 96 days until spring training. That's more than a quarter of a year, dude. God, it's so long. You know, for a baby who's only 6 months old, that's like half their life. It's like half of a person's life. And for a baby who's only 6 months old, 129 days until opening night. That's practically half a life. I mean, it's 50 days less. Whatever. Point is, it's a long ways away until opening night. Is it opening night?
Yeah. In San Francisco.
What? So, what? The Giants are opening the season at home at night.
At night. Against Los Yankees. Los Yankees.
Against Los Yankees. But if you say that in Spanish like that, Matthew, does that make it fancier?
It does. Exactly. They'll be drinking a Manzana Reposada before, too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I'll be drinking an opening night sludge. That's what I'll be drinking.
Now you know you're gonna have to name the cocktail that, whatever you make.
Yeah, so that's what, folks. We're in the doldrums right now. We're in the doldrums. We've got a long way to go, and
hey, at least we don't have to make up like titles like some other podcasts. Like, like someone's getting traded. Someone might be getting traded. Like, we don't have to do that. We just wait every 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, we just don't have an episode.
Yeah,
that's true. And more power to those guys who have to like come up with titles for their episodes where they talked about absolutely nothing.
Correct.
Because like I do both of those things. First of all, I talk about absolutely nothing every episode, right, Roger? And I also make up all the titles. So I understand how hard that job is. But that's why we haven't been with you for 2 weeks, is because there just hasn't been a lot to talk about. But luckily, there's been all these little changes. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the changes to the coaching staff and the front office. And then we're going to talk about the roster. And there were some changes. some surprising, some not so surprising, and then we're going to conjecture about free agency, and we're going to talk about pitching. Pitching. That's what everybody says we need. And some people have some pretty crazy ideas to make that pitching better.
Trades. Yeah, I'm talking about you, John Shea.
And I know you're listening to this episode, even though you probably don't even know who we are, but you're listening to this episode anyway because you know what you did. And you want to see how I'm going to react. And yeah, John, it's going to be that way. But that's in the second half of the show, once the alcohol has really kicked in. But first, Matthew, we have to talk about some tidbits. And I know there aren't any, but I'm going to make you make one up.
Okay. Tidbit that I have to make up. Well, I'm just going to steal one from farther back.
What? You're going to the back episodes that we already talked about? Or maybe that the listeners have forgotten about?
No, I'm going to the bottom of the list, the ones that we might not get to, and I'm just going to bring that up to the front. I'm never forgetting the fact that Fernando Tatis was named the 2025 Platinum Glove winner, Ben. I will carry this resentment till the day I die. I will be like Joe Madden and just say it's insulting.
Oh, come on, dude. You just pulled those out. Okay. I see what you did there. And I like it. That's actually a really good solution. That's inside baseball. The listeners have no idea what you just did. But, folks, it was pretty genius. This is why Matthew always got good grades, even though he wasn't that smart and didn't study very hard.
There's always a game to play, Ben. It's always
That's
a game
right.
to play.
Matthew it's the master of manipulating people. He's just really good at it. I mean that in a nice, friendly way. He never did it for evil. So he did it for good.
I just learned the rules and kind of learned to manipulate those rules.
You just learned to make people like you.
Exactly.
And then they wanted to do good things for you. And is there anything wrong with that? I say no.
I say no, too. But what there is wrong is someone like Fernando Tatis getting the Platinum Glove. Like what is that? Why even call the award an award when you're just going to give it to any Joe Schmo, out there?
Well, you're just going to give it to the name that's the biggest.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays right field because shortstop was too hard for him. Okay? Let's not all get excited. And I know some of you actually know baseball and you're like, Ben's an idiot because Tatis is good at both of those positions, but just he's a Padre. Why are you taking his side? I agree with Matthew. This was just rewarding a guy because he used to be a really good player and is kind of now waning.
Well, I think it's rewarding the guy because he gets put on MLB's like Instagram and TikTok reels all the time for throwing out a guy at third base, or something. And then, wow, he must be a great defensive player. Let's just vote for him. Meanwhile, we know that Patrick Bailey is the best defensive player on the planet, maybe of all time.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happened. Tatis throws guys out at third base with absolute lasers from the deep right corner. Just lasers guys out, on the fly, like right to the bag. Meanwhile, we have Patrick Bailey sitting behind home plate, just casually and subtly flicking his wrist to a point that nobody can even realize what he's doing.
Including the man standing behind him.
And somehow they give it to Tatis. Yeah, actually, Matthew, I'm starting to figure it out. I think I figured it out.
What's that?
Nobody knows what Patrick Bailey's doing back there. Nobody can see it. They can't see it, Matthew. And here's the thing. You know what? I made this rule up 2 weeks ago. He shouldn't win anyway because all he does to get all those outs that he's stealing is fooling a grown man. He's fooling the umpire and therefore stealing strikes. So, as I said, he shouldn't win the Platinum Award. The person who really got jobbed here was Logan Webb. He's the real Platinum Glove winner.
Okay, I'll go with that argument.
Yeah, all right, cool. And as for you, Joe Madden, look, dude, I'm sorry you don't have a job, but you really screwed up that Angels thing. What can I say?
Yeah, right?
That's the end of the road, Joe. I'm sorry. Anaheim is the end of the road.
Just go live in Chicago where you'll never have to buy a meal, dude. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. You knew it when you took the job. If you fail here, you're done. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, Matthew, it's time for us to get to our first topic of the day. What's been going on with the coaching staff and the front office?
Oh, just your favorite former manager of all time has been reported to be the next bench coach of the San Francisco Giants, one Jace Tingler. The Tingler.
The Tingler.
The Tinglerizer.
Ooh, the Tinglerizer.
The Tingle.
The Tingle. The Tingle. Ladies and gentlemen, your bench coach for the San Francisco Giants, Jace the Tingle Tingler. Prepare to be tingled.
He's heard it before, you know.
You know what, Matthew? I think this is a brilliant hire. First of all, he goes back with Tony Vitello. They've got a history together. Everybody said that Tony needed a guy on the staff who had done it before. Jace Tingler has been a manager in Major League Baseball. You know, he was a bench coach. Was he the bench coach in Minnesota?
He was, yeah. And he was the manager of the San Diego Padres.
Yes, but that's where he just came from, was Minnesota. And so, you know, he's a high-ranking guy. He's been there. He's done that. He knows Tony. They'll go way back, so he's got the experience. I think this is a brilliant idea. I'm on board.
Jace Tingler, se habla español también.
Oh, does he?
Mm-hmm. He'll be drinking a Manzana Reposada.
Oh, well, that's good, because I was a little worried about that because of the next change we're going to talk about. But first of all, you're not going to call me out for just jumping on the Tingler bandwagon?
Well, I know that you like to just, you know, kind of your opinions just kind of swing back and forth whenever you want, just to, you know, just for the sake of a good story, right, Roger?
That's right. Well, you know what, Matthew? I have an open mind, and people can change. You know what? If MTG can change, I can change. Sorry, I don't mean to, we don't get into politics on this show, but man, some stuff just really throws me off, man. Like I don't know what's going on there. And if she can change, I can change. So yeah. Yeah, that's right. So you know what? I'm pro Tingler now. Yeah,
okay.
I'm glad Jace is there. Yeah,
are you
speaks
glad
Spanish.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just going to ask, are you glad that JP Martinez is gone?
Well, I'm glad that Jace Tingler speaks Spanish.
But he's not down in the bullpen.
No, but like, at least he can talk to them. I mean, am I glad? Yeah, okay. So JP Martinez took the bullpen coaching job for the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
And is gone. And I believe Pavlovich talked to him and got the inside that it was clear to Martinez that he wasn't coming back, that it wasn't his choice. That wasn't his first choice. His preference would be to stay as the pitching coach rather than taking a demotion in Atlanta.
But then you hear Buster say that JP decided, because they just hadn't made a decision yet, and JP decided to take, he had, what was that, the bird in the bush or bird in the hand?
The bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Yeah, so he had a bird in the hand, I guess, and decided to take that. I think that's what Buster said. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I don't know, man. Like, if I'm the pitching coach and I'm under contract to be the pitching coach, I think I'm going to stick around to be the pitching coach.
Yeah.
Unless they don't want me.
Yeah, and if you're the Giants, like, you going to let them walk? Because this is just stunning to me, because nobody anywhere said that JP Martinez did a bad job. Right? It has been glowing reviews about JP Martinez for the last 4 years.
Yeah, he wasn't always the pitching coach then, but yeah.
No, but he was the bullpen coach.
Yeah.
Right? And then he came up and took over the pitching coach position last year, and it has all been positive since then. And now he's just gone. And I thought, oh, okay, when I heard this news, I was like, okay, well then they must have another guy in mind. Right? Like, that was my assumption. They had somebody else that they wanted. It wasn't JP Martinez, and that's why Martinez was leaving. But no, here we are over a week later, and we still haven't heard anything about a pitching coach. And it's weird to me, man. It's weird to me. I don't understand this one. Like, Again, I don't think we can fully pass judgment on this change because we don't know who the pitching coach will be. But this one's weird.
I'm wondering if they had somebody in mind and then that person turned them down.
It could be. You're right. That could be. It could be that they didn't get the person they wanted, and that person wasn't J.P. Martinez. But J.P. Martinez was like, oh, they don't want me. I'm going to go take this other job. And, yeah, I mean, I think J.P. Martinez probably assumes that he'll get back into that job somewhere else eventually, and he's probably not wrong.
No.
So, and it's better to know that you're right there knocking on the door than to think you waited around for these guys to make a decision and they didn't, and then all of the other opportunities were gone.
Right.
Is kind of where he would have been. And you're right, he was under contract, but just because a guy's under contract doesn't mean that he has to be working. It just means he's getting paid. And that's I think at this stage in your career, he wants to be doing the job, not getting paid to not do the job.
So do you think that he's still earning a check from the Giants while he's
No, I think once he
coach?
takes over another position, he resigned.
Yeah.
Is my assumption. Yeah. Because I'm sure what Buster said is true.
There must not be that big of a difference between salaries then. Or I guess if you're a guy that's been around a long
that we
time,
know
maybe
that. Again, I'm
you're
just
doing
saying,
okay financially. You don't need to worry about that. I don't know.
Well, this is all about the future, right? He's thinking I want to be the head pitching coach, not a guy with no job.
Right.
It sounds like that to me is what it sounds like. If that's the argument that he's making, he was worried he was going to have no job. And it doesn't matter. It's the money doesn't matter. The fact that he's not working for a major league team doing anything is what matters. That's more important. And so, he was like, if I go here, I'm the bullpen coach for the Atlanta Braves. And in San Francisco right now, I don't know what I'm going to be. And I don't know. It feels like a whole lot of miscommunication that led to a situation that's not great for anybody. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Now, this could all work out fine for everybody. So maybe it becomes a bunch of nothing. But yeah.
Yeah, just interesting.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think you should talk about this next guy because I didn't know he existed until just earlier.
You mean Hunter Pence?
Yeah, Hunter Pence.
Yeah, I didn't know he existed until they hired him, to be honest. But he was the assistant hitting coach in Toronto, and the Toronto Blue Jays did some good stuff hitting wise.
I didn't even know they had a baseball team up there.
That's right. Those Canadians, all they play is hockey.
Right. Well, they play is hockey, and then that weird form of the game with the oval shaped ball.
Okay.
The one that the Dirty Miners play.
Oh, the football.
Yeah. They play a weird version of that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I just thought it was, I think that bringing in someone like Hunter Pence is not surprising when you look at his background, right? He actually played under Vitello when Vitello was assistant coach in Missouri. So there are Vitello ties. But then you also look at his trajectory. He's actually kind of risen up through the ranks of the Toronto system. I think he was first with Miami and then went to the Toronto system and was worked his way up to hitting coach. And the Blue Jays were a pretty darn good hitting team over the last couple of years. And so usually when your team has success and ends up in the playoffs / World Series, other teams want your coaches, and Hunter Pence is reaping the benefits of that. And it just so happens that Tony Vitello is the manager. So I think it's a good fit. I'm doing a little research on his philosophy. I think it does remind me a little bit of the Gabe Kapler kind of days of approach to hitting, which maybe is, you can't really argue with the results, particularly in 2021, right? So I think I'm actually looking forward to seeing what kind of impact they have, or at least Hunter Pence and his staff have on the hitters this year.
Yeah, I mean, I do know who Hunter Pence is, and I am up to speed on this hire. The thing that I like about him is that this guy was a hot commodity, right? This was somebody that everybody was talking to. And the Giants had the inside track, I think, probably because of his relationship with Vitello. So there you go. There's a situation where Vitello's pedigree and his past comes back to benefit the Giants, even though he's never been a coach for a professional team before this year. So I think that's awesome. You know, I also do think that approach, it is very reminiscent of the Kapler era. It's all about plate discipline, but it's also about swinging at the pitch that is best for you. So letting strikes go by in some occasions.
Well, you say that, though, but it's interesting because the Blue Jays were second to last in strikeouts this last year with 1,099. The Giants have had at least 1,300 strikeouts in each of the past 5 seasons, and they had some big swingers. I mean, they had like Vladimir Guerrero and Bo Bichette and Springer, and they got guys that can hit the ball hard, and yet they're still not striking out at the rate of the Giants. And I don't know if this guy's going to change like Chapman or Adames or Devers, but where I think he can make a difference is with people like, Jung Hoo Lee and Patrick Bailey and Elliot Ramos and even Brad Eldridge, right? I mean, Bryce Eldridge, not Brad Eldridge, and even Bryce Eldridge, right? And so I think that a guy that can work within that approach and younger hitters who have yet to establish kind of themselves and their identity, I think he can make a big difference, and I'm looking forward to that. I think we might see even just minor changes and improvements in contact and across the board. I think would you got to think that that's going to translate into a few wins.
Good point, Matthew. I think Hunter Pence is going to be a great hire for the San Francisco Giants.
Agreed. Moving on.
Agreed. Yeah, moving on. Folks, sometimes the power of the editing knife, so to speak, is wonderful. In podcasting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is why we don't
go live. The rabbit hole
folks.
that Matthew and I just went down was extensive.
Can you imagine us being on YouTube trying to go live?
No. And I'll tell you what, Roger. Like if I was trying to actively destroy the podcast, I would just leave that in.
There's only been a few coaches retained so far, though, Ben. Oscar Bernard, who I guess is an assistant hitting coach, and I got to be honest. For like half the time that I've been reading this, I thought it was Marvin Bernard. And I'm like, man, Marvin Bernard's been around. I love that he's a hitting coach.
Wait. Say that again. Say Marvin Bernard.
Marvin Bernard.
Oscar.
Yeah, so Marvin Bernard and Taira Uematsu are the only coaches retained so far, Ben.
Yeah. And Mark Hallberg, Buster's roommate. Former roommate.
I guess being a roommate only goes so far, Ben.
Yeah, we already talked about that, but yeah, he is now the bench coach for the Minnesota Twins. Who got the managing job there?
It wasn't the 33-year-old, that was like the Nationals.
I don't know, but Craig Albarnez got a job, didn't he?
He's with the Braves. I think he's the Atlanta Braves. No, the Orioles.
Yeah.
The Orioles, which that's a good gig, man.
The Kapler management tree is starting to bear fruit.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yes, it is.
All right. And then there's, catching coach Alex Berg has not been confirmed Matthew.
Yeah, which is interesting considering Buster Posey was a catcher and Patrick Bailey should be the Platinum Award winner in the National League, that the catching coach hasn't been confirmed. Like you would think that's just an automatic no-brainer, right? You bring the guy back.
That's what I would do, but I don't have very much information. And also, I'm not Tony Vitello, because I told Buster I wasn't going to take the job. Because I got scared and I threw up in the dugout and I ran.
Jane from accounting.
Jane freaked me out with the whole smoke machine. We've already been over this. But Matthew, one other change, big change on the front office side. Bruce Bochy is coming back as an advisor to the San Francisco Giants. And I already read an article about how Bruce and Dusty have both been a big help for Tony Vitello. I don't know why or how, but that's.
I read the article too.
It was very short. There wasn't
the
a lot in it.
headline was how they've been a big help, but the article didn't explain at all.
I think the article was like 3 paragraphs long, and each paragraph was a sentence long. It was an empty article.
It was. It was like, okay, now NBC Sports is getting into the clickbait.
I mean, it can't be bad to have Baker and Bochy there to pick their ears, right? Their brains, rather.
Yeah.
Bend their ears.
I don't hope he's not picking their ears. That's kind of gross.
Picking their ears, you know? He's like, oh, hey, Bruce, you got something. Hang on. Just stay still. Hold still, Bruce.
And he's got some big ears too, man. So he might be there a while.
You don't think that's happening? No?
I'm hoping not.
Okay, good. Okay, and one other change has happened that has made me very worried. Okay. Javi Lopez is now part of the front office? This is not good.
How is it not good? It's great for Javi.
What? It's great for Javi. Javi doesn't know what's good for him. Okay?
Is what's good for him good for Ben? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Is there a difference? Whatever, shut up. The point is, Javi Lopez, look, my apologies to the real Hunter Pence. Javi Lopez is the color guy of the future. Okay? I get the feeling that he doesn't know that yet. But Javi Lopez is the color guy. Like, he's going to be there. He and Dave Fleming, they're going to the Hall of Fame together.
Okay, well.
Okay? So, Javi just doesn't know it yet.
Alex Pavlovich said that Lopez is still going to be on TV. Now, there has been in other, realms where they're talking about how that's not the case, but I gotta think that Pavlovich knows, considering he's part of the NBC.
Yeah, he literally works for NBC. Yeah, I would hope that he would know, and all I can say is he better be. Javi's the best. If we're looking for a replacement to Kruko, who is the color guy, right? I know that Kuiper does that whole dual role thing. I don't know why I said it like that, rudely and meanly.
Yeah, he does it better than anybody else.
Dwayne, you're great. You do play-by-play, and your next ball. It's crazy. You're both good at both. Yeah. But yeah, they're getting older. We all know that. Javi's the guy. Javi's the guy. Okay? Javi's the guy. And Javi just needs to understand that and just accept it. Move to San Francisco and take the job. Don't do this front office stuff. All right. Good. I'm glad I solved that
Buster's
problem.
just trying to bring his guys together, right? People that he trusts. And, and if you get asked by Buster to come and help on the front office, you're probably going to do it.
I didn't.
That's true. But you're an idiot.
Yeah, it's also fantasy land. All right, Matthew, it's time to move on. We got to talk about the roster. There's all these roster holes and all these things that we got to do, okay? And the main thing that we got to do is we got to fix the pitching, okay? We need... we need 25 starters.
Is there anybody in our organization, Ben, that could get us 25 starters?
I would hope his name is Buster Posey. That's literally his job.
I meant in a trade. Could we trade someone?
Oh, you trade somebody for 25 starters?
Sure.
Probably not. I mean, bad ones, maybe. We could probably trade Rafael Devers for 25 starters. But I don't want to. That's a crazy idea. How many starters
John Shea
do we
thinks
get for
we should
John
just
Cooley?
trade Bryce Eldridge. Though.
What?
That's what John Shea wrote. John Shea said, hey, we should look at trading Bryce Eldridge because we got a first baseman /DH and his name is Rafael Devers. And just think, we could get these great pitchers for Bryce Eldridge.
Okay, Matthew. Okay. John, Matthew, whatever. Okay, anybody who thinks this is a good idea. Whatever. I'm going to admit, this is not the worst idea ever. Okay? I get it, right? You could trade somebody like Bryce Eldridge for a Garrett Crochet or for a Paul Skeens. I admit, that's not good enough. You need to add more. You need to throw more into that trade.
You need to add Javi Lopez and
Yeah, sure. Yes, you get the color guy for the rest of your organization. Look. If the rest of the people knew what you get out of Kruk and Kuip, they would put more money into their TV guys. Let me just put it that way. But But yeah, but what I'm saying is like there are things that you could trade somebody like Bryce Eldridge for that I would be like, that's a good trade. So it's not the worst idea ever. But it's like the third worst idea ever. Like, this is the dumbest idea. Like, okay, and it's not the dumbest idea because I just said it wasn't. But you know what I mean? It's stupid.
Well, it's stupid because baseball is also a business.
That's right. It's an entertainment business.
And there is such a thing as fans and wanting to see homegrown talent. And we've been hearing about this name since the day he was drafted and how he's going to be the next great big giant. And if you just go and trade him, it ruins all of that. Not to mention, if you trade him and he goes on to have like a Hall of Fame career, it will be like that one that every Giants fan will point to for the rest of their freaking lives.
Yeah,
I don't think it's worth it. Yes, unless you're getting a Paul Skeens or someone like that, it's not worth it. And I think they got to ride with Bryce Eldridge. It's a ride or die situation at this point. You cannot trade him.
I absolutely 100% agree. This is about putting butts in seats, and if you trade Bryce Eldridge for 25 nobodies, the fans will never let you live it down. Never let you live it down. The fans will never let you live it down.
Say it one more time.
The fans will never let you live it down. They will be on you for the rest of forever. Like, this trade, not just and it can't be like a couple of guys who stick around for a few years, right? It can't be like a guy who gets you through for 2025 and helps you make the playoffs, because Bryce Eldridge will be around for the next 15 years. And wherever you send him, they're not going to do the Randy Wynn thing and let him make it, call him up when he's finally 24, when he's just running out of options. No, they're going to call him up immediately, and he's going to start hitting bombs immediately. And he's probably going to get traded to somewhere like Boston or, somewhere else with a short porch in right field. And he's just going to hit bombs, and it's always going to be held against the San Francisco Giants that they let this guy go. Like, they will be bitter and angry forever.
And there is a possibility that he does not become what everybody hopes he will become. Absolutely, right? He could be Brandon Belt ceiling, right? I mean, and so, which is a very good major league player, but not a superstar. And that is a possibility. But I think at this point, they have to play that out. They can't be like, oh, let's trade. You can't keep trading your guys and like kicking the can down the road on development. Now, if you're going to get a major league ace that helps you win the World Series this year, okay, then you could be like, all right, we sold our soul for the devil. But that's not a guarantee either. And so I think I'd rather have Bryce Eldridge and see what the guy can do.
I mean, like Brian Reynolds, right?
Yes,
like, that's
what Brian Reynolds got sent off into purgatory. But yes, he was a very, very good player.
And the Giants got squat for that. Nothing. Like, and people will go back and be like, oh, this is a good trade because the Giants are betting now. But like, we're still talking about it because it didn't work out. And Brian Reynolds did hit. He's literally been the all-star guy for the Pirates many years. So, like, just no. Like, this is the kid. This is, like, the marketing team has already spoken here. Like, this is the kid. You got to stick with him. You can't go just trade him away for something that's going to last us, like, a year. Unless it's Paul Skeens or Garrett Crochet or something. And I get it. Crochet's not available, whatever. But that was just a comparison. But I think Skeens might be available. If you were to package in with something else, and I admit it, the Giants probably don't have it, but the Pirates, they're pretty stupid. Like, they do all kinds of crazy dumb things, and so it's certainly a possibility. So I'm not saying no to Paul Skeens, but really, that's what it would have to be. That's why it's the third dumbest idea ever, John. But not the dumbest. All right, Matthew. Well, we should probably talk about some changes that did happen. One of the things that happened is that we got rid of a pitcher.
Yeah, Mason Black.
Did you just shrug? Did you just shrug? Matthew just shrugged.
Well, I mean, 2 years ago we were very excited about him, and then last year it was like, who? So this speaks to the volatility of pitchers and their worth, right, and their values. So.
Yeah, I mean, he came up, he pitched 50 plus innings. Not very many of those innings were that impressive. He went back to the minors. Last year was not good at the AAA level. I mean, and that's why this sport is hard. Like, that's why this sport is a hard career, right? Because he was on the cusp. It was right there for him, and it just didn't happen. And it
you only got 40 spots. You got 40 spots, and they're very valuable. And you can't, so the Giants, if they want to make improvements on their overall team, they can't keep wishing on someone like Mason Black, so they DFA'd him.
That's what this was about. It was about clearing a 40-man spot. Right.
They got somebody for it. They got right-handed pitcher Logan Martin. They traded from the Royals, and the best thing about Logan Martin is that he's not on the 40-man.
That's right. I mean, that's really what this was about. This move was about opening up a 40-man spot. It wasn't so much that we don't believe in Mason Black, but it's that we don't believe that he's worth holding a 40-man spot for. And that's what this trade was about. I mean, they DFA'd him before they traded him, right? Yeah. So Kansas City was like, hey, we'll take him before he hits waivers. And so the Giants got something out of it. So, we'll see what happens with Logan Martin, but it's goodbye and good luck to Mason Black. The Giants did claim some guys that were also sent on waivers, though. And are these guys on the 40-man?
They are, but what's interesting is that these were the first guys that we've claimed all year long.
That's preposterous. And
so, I mean, you think back to the Farhan days where we were claiming 5 guys a week, right? I mean,
I got claimed.
Yes. Yeah. And then you were let go within 36 hours.
I was like, I don't know what just happened, but I just got 2 emails.
So it's amazing that it took this long. I don't know who. I hope Raver San Martin. I hope he's a good pitcher. I don't know. Justin Dean knows how to throw his hands up when a ball gets wedged underneath the fence.
Though. The Giants claimed that guy?
Yes.
Wow. The Giants claimed a Dodgers World Series hero.
Yes, they did. And he's fast and he's a good center fielder. So but has had trouble hitting. So
and that probably won't change.
But they keep talking about wanting defensive. They want to be better defensively. You get a guy like that, and he's the guy that comes off in the bench in late innings to spell a certain center fielder that we all know shouldn't be out there. Maybe he's the 5th outfielder.
I mean, maybe, or he's just riding. He's at the AAA level and he's there when you need him. No, I mean, these are the kinds of guys that you do need in your organization. These guys that sit at the AAA level, they're part of your 40-man roster, but they're not part of your 26-man. And you call them up for defensive needs when somebody gets hurt or just somebody's not doing it, and they're there, and you use them until you don't have room for them anymore, and then you DFA them so that you can make room for somebody else. You need these guys. So, I think this is a decent pickup.
Well, and Raver San Martin could be like our 8th inning guy next year. We don't know.
We have no idea. I'm not going to pass judgment on Raver San Martin. I have no idea what's going on there. And hey, like we said, we need pitching.
Exactly.
I see here on the notes that you said that old Tom Murphy elected free agency.
I know. Aren't you sad? Oh.
I feel bad for the guy. I do, but wow.
Well, and also since he had an axe to grind with the whole Giants organization, it was not a surprise that he elected free agent.
No, I agree. He clearly had an axe to grind regarding the injury, and I have no idea what happened there. And I think that totally sucks. But also, Farhan never should have signed him. This was a confusing signing to you and I the day that it happened. It became more confusing and obvious what a mistake this was the first weekend of last year.
How many backup catchers have the Giants churned through since then when they could have just had Joey Bart all along?
Are you talking snap about Andrew Kisner? Because don't you go after Andrew. I'm not.
Andrew would be a very fine AAA catcher.
I'm not. Yeah, no, he would be, and I would much rather have Joey Bart as my backup. No doubt. All right. Well, Matthew, we're running up against the end of the show.
It's been 2 weeks, Ben. We can go a little longer.
We can go long. Is that we're going to give the listeners a little extra, maybe maybe extra 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Because Roger says you ruin things in 15 minutes.
I can ruin things a lot faster than 15 minutes. Okay. Well, so Matthew, nothing's really happened. I mean, we just talked a lot about a bunch of stuff, but it was all just conjecture. I mean, other than Mason Black, who, it happened to him, he's a Kansas City Royal now. He's got a job. Reaver San Martin and Justin Dean, they've got jobs. Well, Tom Murphy doesn't have a job, but whatever. But maybe he has a legal grievance that will get him paid more money. We don't know. So it could be that everything's looking up for all those guys. But really, not much has happened. And my question for you is this. Do the Giants have the money and do the names exist to sign pitching guys that matter, that are really going to make this team better?
It's a good question, Ben. First of all, every team has the money. Okay. Let's just be clear.
Are you sure? I've heard,
every team has the money.
Do you think the Vagabonds have the money? Because
they have the money.
That's true. He sold a whole soccer team. He's got a lot of money now.
So, will the Giants spend it? Doesn't sound like it.
No,
Greg
it doesn't.
Johnson is like, we are very averse to spending 6 figures or 7 figures or whatever, $100 million contracts on pitching. I can't do the math. How many figures that is. But I understand where he's coming from and where Buster's coming from on this. Although it sounds like Buster doesn't necessarily agree, because he was asked about that on Giants Talk, and he kind of pleaded the fifth on that. He literally said, I think I want to plead the fifth on that. And because I think maybe he does want to spend that kind of money on a good pitcher, because who doesn't want to bring in good pitching?
I think Greg Johnson has no qualms lying. There's this whole thing, Matthew, about people who lack empathy and how they're good at business.
Yeah, you think that fits the Greg Johnson?
Oh, yeah, I think Greg Johnson has no, and I don't think he would think this is an offensive thing to say about him. And honestly, I agree with him. Wow.
Well, I guess from a business standpoint, you don't want to go telegraphing to agents that you're willing to spend $100 million.
That's exactly what I think he's doing. I exactly think that he's saying, like, no, we're not going to go spend a lot of money. Because I don't think he wants to tip his hand at all. And then also, he's like, if we also end up not spending the money, then great. So,
yes,
there's no qualms about lying about that. The one thing that he did say that did make me concerned was, you're never going to outspend the Dodgers. And all I have to say about this is, like, I don't agree that the Dodgers are destined to be the team that has the most money. Right? Like, if you all believe that, then why are the Angels and the Dodgers the Dodgers? Okay? Because it has to be about their location. Because if it's about their pedigree or their name, I think the Giants are just as great of a name as the Dodgers, and I think the Yankees are a bigger name than the Dodgers. The Yankees used to be the Dodgers, and they're not anymore. So the fact that somebody that took that away from them, and I get it.
I think it has to do with their TV contract more than anything else. But
yeah, I mean that is true. That is true. That is because of the region that they're in. But that's also because Moreno is such a crap owner. Like, if Moreno could have competed with the Dodgers, that contract wouldn't be as valuable, because half the people that live in that region would be like, I don't care about that team. So, like, the Dodgers are lucky because they got bought by a good ownership team who bought the investment, right? They don't care if they break even until they sell the team. That's what those guys are thinking. Which is why they're
deferring all that Ohtani money.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Because they'll be dead when that money comes.
Right. And whenever that investment team sells the Dodgers, if they ever do, they'll make billions of dollars in profit. Right. But like, the point is that, like, if the Angels were at all competitive as a product, they would own half that region. But Moreno is an idiot, so they don't. But my point is, the Giants now own the entire San Francisco Bay Area. Like, there's no reason the Giants couldn't go out there and be just as competitive. Yes, the Dodgers also have all of Japan, but that was a solvable problem, wasn't it? They went out and did it. They got it done by spending deferred money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, I don't like that he says you're never going to outspend the Dodgers, because to me it means we're always going to be smaller than the Dodgers. We're not, basically it's Greg Johnson saying I'm not as good of a team leader as the guys over running the Dodgers are. That's what I hear when I hear Greg Johnson say we're never going to outspend the Dodgers.
Well, at least he's honest about it.
I guess. If you're going to lie, though, you can at least lie about that.
Well, I got a question for you.
All right.
Would Buster sign a guy like Framber Valdez?
I think Buster would, for sure. I don't know that I would.
You think that whole crossing up the catcher thing and throwing a fastball at his catcher's face when he,
I forgot about all of that. Let me rephrase my answer.
Is something that Buster would be like, oh, that's a good team guy I want on my team? I don't know.
Oh, I forgot about that. Let me rephrase my answer. Buster would never.
Yeah, it's funny though, because I keep saying, like, oh, that's the guy that the Giants should pursue, and I'm like, Buster, I don't know. It would be shocking to me if I think if all things being equal, Buster would not sign a guy because of what he did to a catcher.
That was a bad look, and we won't remind all of you listeners, but just go look up Framber crossing up catcher or Framber intentionally hitting catcher. This happened this past season, and it was not good. I don't know. I think there's a part of me that actually thinks Buster would, but I think Buster would need to talk to Framber about it.
Yeah.
And I honestly, if I was Framber Valdez, I would be like, I'm not having a conversation with Buster Posey about that. I'm just not going to sign with the Giants because I'd be too embarrassed. Yeah, I would not sit in a room with Buster Posey and talk about how I intentionally hit my catcher. I just wouldn't do that. Or even accidentally did. That's not a kind of mistake.
It goes back to when that happened. You and I talked about how he was going to lose some millions of dollars.
Yeah. So I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen between Framber and the Giants, and I think that's probably a big reason why.
Okay. Well, Buster did say this since we last talked that the improvements in 2026, at least a large part of the improvements, have to come from within. And, he's pointing to guys like Wisenhunt and, all the guys down in AAA, Blade, Tidwell, and all those guys, saying somebody's got to step up and take over, which I think that's valid, right? I mean, that's why you have a pipeline. That's why you have AAA to develop. Some of those guys are going to have to step up, maybe like Landon Roop did last year.
Somebody's got to be the Logan Webb.
Yeah. And Logan Webb in 2020, was just a little squib guy that just, nobody had any faith in. And then he transformed into Logan Webb.
Logan Webb had some seriously major low points in his minor league career with the Giants and was never a great prospect.
He was never a top 100, that's for sure.
No. And now he's one of the top 5 best pitchers in all of baseball. So, yeah, I mean, it could be anybody. They just got to do it.
Well, and, including your boy Hayden.
I agree. Yeah. Could be. Hayden.
I did read an article that he talked about how he's got to be able to be more aggressive and feeling confident that he's getting the mental side figured out. And I know Buster talked a little bit about it and likened it to a Sandy Koufax. And I guess when Sandy Koufax first came into the league, he said that when he first turned the corner and became Sandy Koufax that we know, it was when he stopped trying to miss bats and started trying to hit bats.
Okay.
And the point being was trust your stuff.
Yeah.
And let guys swing at it.
Yeah.
That's from a psychological point of view, I think that's huge. Because your whole mentality as a pitcher is you don't want anybody to get a hit. But if you got truly nasty stuff, then your mentality is hit this bumblebee. And I think that's where Hayden has to get to.
Do need to beat
bumblebee.
I don't feel like
no, it's a female dog. No, it's
but I I was just wondering if there's like a funny word that we could come up with.
Oh. Bumblebee.
Yeah, say bumblebee, but say it really like boring and stupid, like bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
And now say it with complete anger and aggression.
Bumblebee.
But really hit the bumble.
Bumblebee.
Oh, good. Yeah. All right, I'll see how those sound, and then maybe I'll just put that in. Or I'll just leave.
Bumblebee.
We'll see what happens. All right.
All right.
Yes, I agree. Hayden, just be the next Sandy Koufax.
Easy as that.
Done.
Easy.
Well, we just solved all the problems, Matthew.
Well, speaking of problems, and we don't have enough time to talk about this, but maybe we can ballpark or parking lot this for another day. I just wonder how the lockout that we're all going to get in 2027 is going to affect this offseason. And our guys, because a lot of times guys want to sign with the Giants on a 1-year deal because that's a prove it to me contract. They like pitching in Oracle. They're gonna up their value. But if there's no 2027, then a 1-year contract doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I think more guys are going to want like 2 and 3 year contracts this year. How will that affect the Giants needing to fill out a rotation and pitching staff? So that'll be something to watch, I think.
That is an interesting question. I do think we should talk about the possibility of a lockout, Matthew, and I think the offseason is the right time to do it. And look, it's the off-season, so maybe we should do it. And it does have interesting impacts on how the Giants approach free agency this year. So
I think it affects how free agents approach free agency this year.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
All right. Well, maybe we'll talk about that in our next episode.
All right.
Isn't it time for the booze, boys?
Yes, Bob, it is time for the booze.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Oh, Bob, I'm drinking a cocktail that I called the Off-Season Sludge. And that's because that's what I was literally doing. Okay, trigger warning. If you don't like gross things, skip ahead 2 minutes. Okay, probably 3 minutes because you know how I go on. All right,
plumbing gross things, by the way.
It's plumbing related. It's plumbing related, but you know what goes down the pipes, right, people? Okay, it's not that bad, but it's still gross. Okay, 3, 2, 1, jump. Okay, so this is okay. I got home from D&D. You know, I had a hard afternoon in the dungeons, but I'd promised my adult child that I would teach said child how to clear the drain in their bathtub, which meant that I had to clear the drain in the bathtub. Okay? And said child has so much hair on their head, I mean. And so, I thought a job that was going to take 15 minutes, right? To get the tools out, do the job, and then clean off the tools and put everything away. It ended up taking 90 minutes, okay? Because I had to reinstall the shower curtain because obviously, I had to unlock screws that hadn't been moved, and it had occurred to me 19 years, And so, and then after I got half of that done, I pulled the auger snake out of the drain.
19 years worth of hair?
19 years worth of sludge came out of there, and it was just... It was bad, folks. It was bad. Okay, just cleaning off just getting that nasty stuff off the auger was just like... I'm going to have nightmares. So did I have time to go make a Spanish-named cocktail? No. No, I did not. And that's why I made the Off-Season Sludge, which has 2 ounces of bourbon. You're going to take that bourbon, you're going to pour it into a highball with ice, and then you're going to top that with Cherry Coca-Cola. And then you're going to sit down in front of your computer and you're going to have a Zoom call with your brother, who I presume you have a good relationship with. If you don't do that. I have a great relationship with my brother. So we had a conversation, and I quickly drained that cocktail. And so then I made another. And I think I'm going to have a third one later. And that's how you make an off-season sludge, folks.
I'm not gonna lie. That cocktail sucked.
Bob, the whole situation sucked, but the cocktail was actually... I'm not going to lie, dude. It was good. It was good. I drank those 2 ingredients down, and it was good. I loved it. Drained it. Wanted more. I want more now. Sue me. And that's what I'm drinking, Bob. The Off-Season Sludge.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, I am drinking the Manzana Reposada. And I'm hosting some friends, a little party in early December, and I wanted to use tequila because it seemed like that was a spirit that I've kind of been ignoring lately. And, the holidays, this could be a really good Thanksgiving holiday cocktail as well. So what's in it? It's got 2 ounces of Reposado Tequila, 3/4 ounces of Tuaca, which is a liqueur that you can find at Total Booze and More. It's there. 1 ounce of a reduced spiced apple cider. And folks, I took Trader Joe's spiced apple cider that you find on the shelf, and I put it in a saucepan, and I reduced it till it was half the volume that I put in there. Okay, just boiled it, simmered it until it was half the volume. Gives you a little more concentrated apple flavor. And then I added just 1/4 ounce of Demerara syrup, but brown sugar syrup would also go lovely in this cocktail. Put all those together into a mixing glass, add ice and stir for 30 seconds. Then you're going to strain it into a rocks glass with a large chunk of ice, and you're going to garnish it with a dried apple slice. And I tell you, apple and tequila goes really well together. So that's what I'm drinking, Bob. The Manzana Reposada.
That's a tasty cocktail.
Yes, it is. Lovely.
Matthew, I didn't know that the Hoctua girl made a liqueur.
Yeah, she may have, but that's not what this one was.
So it's not the same.
No.
Tuaca,
Tuaca. Tuaca.
Oh, okay, not Hoctua. Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought after the whole crypto thing, she was toast. Okay, whatever. Sorry, continue.
Okay. And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back in 2 weeks, maybe sooner. I don't know. We had a little off recording talk here, and maybe there will be a Thanksgiving Day edition for those of you who maybe want a little distraction from your family. We'll see what we can do. But if you can't wait that long, feel free to reach out to us on the socials. You can find us in Zuckland and all other places. We go by the name of Giant Cocktails. Also, don't forget to review us. A 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And you can also subscribe to us on YouTube, where you just see our logo for, the whole entire time, where you can also leave comments and subscribe as well. You can also leave comments on Spotify like Roger did. Right, Ben?
That's right. Thanks, Roger.
Ben, would you like to share what our listener Roger said on Spotify?
Just say goodbye, dude.
Folks, just a reminder, when you leave a comment, it could be negative. Okay? You could talk trash to us. It's fine. Just don't leave us a poor review. Ben, it's great chalking giants with you. Until next time, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, Matthew. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Giant Cocktails Podcast. Until next time, bottoms up.
what happens after 2 weeks.
I was going to say, I don't know. Maybe your cocktail was
Bumblebee.
I was like, dude, we got to get to the goodbye, and then we can talk about Roger.
I'm all confused about when are we going to talk about Roger?
After the
Bumblebee.
Goodbye.
Oh, Roger, Ben may ruin it in the first 15, but I can ruin it in the last 15s. Just give me a chance, man. So what did Roger say exactly?
What did Roger say exactly? Oh, well, I'll read it. I'll read it to you. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Oh, here it is. Okay. Roger said, the younger brother, Ben, makes this pod a hard listen. And if he had stopped there, I mean, fair. Fair. I get it. Like, ask my kids. They'll agree with Roger, right? Like, they'll be like, Roger, yes. In fact, maybe Roger is actually maybe one of my children is Roger.
Maybe I'm Roger.
Maybe that's true. Like, I was like, hey, you know what? It's like, yeah. I can't imagine being in the room. Maybe Bob is Roger, right?
No,
like
most likely.
Because after the first sentence, you're sort of like, oh, okay. I mean, I think I like how he added the extra detail about the younger brother Ben. Because I'm not really sure that how many of the listeners even think of it that way. Do you think, Ben's the younger brother and Matthew's the older brother, and that's how I have it? I have the whole picture up and set up in my head. Like, I don't think, like, I just didn't think that was a thing, but it is apparently a thing. So
Roger's clearly an older brother.
He's clearly an older brother, and you might have hit the nail on the head here. But being an older brother and being extremely pedantic, he gets more specific.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He says, the first 15 minutes, he actively tried to ruin the episode.
Actively, huh?
Actively for the first 15 minutes. And Roger, I got to tell you, buddy, like I said earlier in the show, dude, I'm trying to ruin the show all the time. I've been trying to ruin the show for 5 years. Like 15 minutes. But then I realized, maybe he stopped listening after 15 minutes.
Well, I was just thinking, like, if he'd listened to the last 15, then he might have been like the older brothers trying to ruin the show.
That's true. If we just listen to the last 15 minutes of this episode, for sure, that's definitely true.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But then it also occurred to me, I don't drink anymore until, like, we introduce the cocktails. Which is, like, around the 15-minute mark. So Roger never heard Drunk Ben. I'm assuming he only listened to the one episode. I'm assuming. Like, maybe Roger's been a lifetime listener, and now he's just had it. He just can't put up with any more Ben. Which, fair. I totally understand. I mean, my wife's put up with me for 25 years, Roger, so I don't know what your problem is, but whatever. So, but I get it. But then I was thinking, like, maybe I need to start drinking earlier. Right? Because if he did listen to the whole episode, and he was just like, but those first 15 minutes were rough, then I think that means I just need to start drinking more. Yeah.
The funny thing is, it's like, if it was just me doing the podcast, it would be the most boring podcast on the planet.
Yeah,
I like to think you add a little je ne sais quoi.
And I agree. And if it was just me doing the podcast, then it would be absolutely unbearable, and nobody could handle it ever. You even me out. We're like the yin and yang.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're boring.
So Roger can go suck it, man.
Yeah. See, Roger, I have a big brother too.
Exactly. Bring that bumblebee over here, Roger.
Now say, shirt balls.
Shirt ball.
All right, sweet. Yeah.
Like and subscribe, people.